A third undercover Planned Parenthood video is released today. It features a former technician who claims Planned Parenthood receives financial benefit from organ harvesting. Catherine Szeltner has reaction from Capitol Hill tonight. Catherine?
Brian, the latest video is graphic. It shows doctors dissecting an aborted baby, discussing how much money they can get for each part. Today, pro-lifers and 3 presidential candidates said enough is enough. Taxpayer dollars should not go to Planned Parenthood.
Defund! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Defund! When do we want it? Now!
As the third Planned Parenthood video rolls out.
No, and you know, I think the per item thing works a little better just because we can see how much we can get out of it.
So do the protests.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Planned Parenthood's got to go!
A former Planned Parenthood worker says she fainted when she had to dissect aborted babies to sell the baby parts.
This can really show exactly the ways in which Planned Parenthood has completely and utterly lied to all of us.
Organizers say pro-lifers gathered today in 65 cities across the U.S. to protest Planned Parenthood.
They've betrayed all of us, they've lied to us, and not only are they selling out women, but they're literally selling their children's body parts. So much for sisterhood.
These women want the abortion provider investigated and defunded. GOP presidential candidates Dr. Ben Carson, Senator Rand Paul, and Senator Ted Cruz agree. Paul spoke as both a politician and doctor at the D.C. protest.
I've seen 1-pound babies in the nursery that I examine their eyes, and I think nobody questions whether that 1-pound baby has rights. This is a debate we should have. If the president chooses to continue a program that allows doctors who are receiving government money to use ultrasound to manipulate a baby around so they can get to the organs better, I think we've got problems as a country.
Presidential candidate Rand Paul says the senators will vote to defund Planned Parenthood before going home in August. The clock is ticking since the recess begins in less than 2 weeks. Planned Parenthood's budget is $1.3 billion. Nearly half comes from the government. Brian?
Catherine Szeltner on Capitol Hill. Thanks, Catherine. Kristen Day is Executive Director of Democrats for Life of America, and many Democrats support the right of a woman to choose abortion. Will they vote to defund Planned Parenthood?
That's a good question and a fair question. I think we need to give Democrats an alternative. There are a lot of Democrats out there watching these videos and seeing what the reality of what abortion is. But when it comes to Planned Parenthood, there are a lot of within the Democratic Party who really support the organization. But if we give them an alternative, say, let's take the funding and provide it to community health centers instead. There are 9,000 community health centers all across the country. As compared to 700 Planned Parenthood clinics, the community health centers are in 98% of the districts. So I think if we give an alternative to make sure that we're still supporting women and putting the money where it will be more effective and it won't be loaded down with controversy whether the money is being used for abortion or harvesting baby parts.
We're not talking about pro-life pregnancy centers.
Right.
That's not the alternative that they'll go for.
No, it's not. Community health centers do actually more comprehensive health care for families.
But they don't do abortions.
They don't do abortions, and they actually do mammograms, which Planned Parenthood does not.
Yeah, they say they do, but
they say they don't. No, so it's a more comprehensive approach to, and it will actually help more families and more women than because the outreach is so much greater than the Planned Parenthood clinics.
In order to pass a defunding bill, don't we need Democratic votes? We
absolutely do. The House has passed the defunding. They've passed a lot of pro-life legislation, but when it comes over to the Senate, we just don't have the votes unless there's a consensus. And we need to build consensus in the Senate to get the 66 votes that we need to either override a veto or to have a veto-proof majority.
It seems like the lines are so clearly drawn on this. In fact, most pro-life organizations don't support Obamacare because of the HHS mandate, yet you do support Obamacare. How?
Right. Well, we're Democrats, and from day one, Democrats supported a health care bill. Republicans did not. So, I was very active in trying to pass the health care bill and trying to prevent abortion funding, and it really became not so much pro-life, pro-choice, it became a pro-life Democrat divide. So you still have Republicans opposing the bill and Democrats supporting it. So I think the pro-life issue was sort of a wedge issue to try to bring down the bill, but essentially Democrats will still support health care and Republicans won't support health care. And I think it was more of a partisan issue rather than a pro-life issue.
But you support the Little Sisters.
Oh, we absolutely support the Little Sisters.
That's good. We appreciate you, Kristen Day. Thanks for sharing your perspective.
All right. Thank you.